My one big thing for the Broncos is just thinking about how long is this rebuild going to last. And when you think about it, they traded for Sean Payton. They traded for Russell Wilson. They gave up 5 first and second round picks for those two guys. When you think about the construct of any roster in the NFL, a good one anyway, first and second round picks are the foundation of your team. You throw 5 first and second round picks from the last few drafts on the Denver Broncos, all of a sudden I like them a lot more. This is supposed to be the foundation of their team for the next few years, and they're just zeros. You add on the Russell Wilson cap hit, which is hovering over them for the next couple of years, and it's a really dire experience with the Denver Broncos right now. The one thing they do have is a great coach. Sean Payton is a great coach. I do wonder, is he here long-term for this mess, though? If this is a 5 or 6 year rebuild, is Sean Payton still here in 2028? Or is he just like, whatever, I'm going back to Fox. I don't like this anymore. I think these are real questions for the Denver Broncos, whereas most NFL rebuilds, 2 or 3 years. Look at the Houston Texans. They're going to be the team we cite all the time, right? You know, you hit a home run at quarterback, you hit a home run at coach, you could be right back at being a contender in a year or two. I don't see that for the Broncos. I think this is long-term. And given how much this fan base has suffered since Peyton Manning retired, that's pretty depressing. I'm not going to lie. Maybe Peyton could dig them out of this. Maybe Bo Nix is awesome right away, and he just carries them to the playoffs in a couple of years. But if there's a long-term rebuild out there in the NFL, I think it might be the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and so, you know me, I love cooking shows. And there was a show, I don't know if you ever saw it, it's called Next Level Chef. Okay, so all these chefs are on a floor, like 3rd floor, 2nd floor, 1st floor, and they've got their hand against the wall as a thing is dropping down, and it has ingredients on it. So part of what the chef has to do is they have to run up, not only knowing that they're making a dish, it's whatever challenge, they've got to, while this platform is moving, they've got to grab a protein and everything they need to cook their entire dish while this platform is moving. And half the time you'll see a great chef standing there at the end that just didn't get a good grab. And so he's looking around, he's like, I don't have anything to cook with. That's how I feel about Sean Payton right now. Like, Sean Payton's looking around and he's like, man, somehow I didn't get a protein that's good enough, and none of my sides are going to be good enough to make this a competent dish. Like the Broncos, to your point, I do believe they're in the part of this process that rips it back to the studs. But it's important to remember what they gave up before they got to this process, because it makes the rebuild tougher. It's just, there's no two ways around this. Like, they're going to need time. Even if Bo Nix turns out to be the answer at quarterback, they're going to have to surround Bo with more talent. That's going to take 2 or 3 in a beautiful offseason, Frank. In the best offseason you could ever imagine. In my mind, you'd be lucky to get 4 or 5 can't miss, oh my God, starters that you are going to build on through the future. And I'm talking through the draft and free agency combined. If you get 4 or 5 landmark guys in one free agency or one offseason, you've hit a home run. The Broncos, even if they hit a home run with their quarterback, probably still need 16 new starters over the course of the next couple of years.
Yeah,
that's just real.
Their roster is really depleted. I mean, Patrick Surtain and who? I mean, that's kind of who the Broncos are right now. And maybe some of their younger kids develop quickly, but I don't really like the direction of Denver Broncos.